Well, Dusty, thank you for the introduction. Thanks for the great work that you do here on the National Lakeshore as superintendent. And by the way, you can take all the pictures you want of me with my glasses on. Matter of fact, it's the only way I'm recognized. If I want to go in disguise, I take my glasses off. You get to be my age, you'll understand the problem. It's a great moment here to really celebrate the dedication, the beginning of a trail which will connect 27 miles when it's done. This is just part one that we're talking about here today, but it's an incredibly important beginning. And as Dusty mentioned, there's been a lot of folks that have been involved in it. The federal funding part of it, she's already mentioned, but it's an important part. And when you think about all of the agony that we're going through in terms of the deficit reduction, which we must do, remember the ecstasy of some of the projects that we're able to fund with federal monies, some of the important goals that we seek with federal funds, and as we sort out the priorities of this nation, doing the things that we must do, we always have got to remember the things that we can do and the things that we won't be able to do unless we do this right. And one of the things that we can do and must do is to protect the kind of God-given areas, scenic and otherwise, that have been provided to us temporarily, and we as its stewards. And that is a major responsibility. It's a serious responsibility, but it's also a bloody fun responsibility, I must tell you. As I look at these kids with their bikes over here, a couple young boys, I believe, I'm thinking of my grandkids and how they enjoy these dunes and how they need safe places to drive those bikes. I know that this is a controversial, there's always controversy. There's never, not as much as in Washington at the moment, there's always controversy. There's always conflicting goals. We understand that. There are folks who didn't like the idea of this trail because they wanted it to be left in a more natural state. The majority, however, spoke. They spoke after a very thorough, deliberative, transparent process where plans were talked about, debated, discussed, and a decision was made locally, which needs a great deal of respect, that this heritage trail should be installed so that we could have a place where you could safely walk, safely ride bikes along these roads, these M22 and M109. Now, my staff and I just drove in from Honor, Michigan, where they were having a wonderful little ceremony this morning. And along this road, these two roads that we drove this morning, there must have been 200 or 300 bicyclists. I thought they were all here to see me, but it turned out that there's some kind of a bicycle race or something going on here, and that they're along these roads. They're riding their bikes along these two narrow roads. And if anything could dramatize the need for this heritage bikeway, pathway, non-motorized area, it was what was going on these two roads here actually this morning, with all these bicyclists going along the road and looking at these two young kids on their bikes and thinking how important it is that we have a safe place. Now, on the other hand, we obviously want to keep Sleeping Bears in its natural state. And we not only have fought for federal funding, those of us who represent Michigan and represent this district, but we also are fighting to have a significant part of the Sleeping Bear Dunes Lakeshore designated as wilderness. It's a bipartisan bill that we've introduced. I've introduced it in the Senate with the support of Senator Stabenow, and it's been introduced by the Republican representative here, Representative Heising, I believe. I don't know where, I shouldn't speak about Representative Camp. I assume I don't know where he is on the wilderness, so I won't be presumptuous, but hopefully he would support it as well. It is a bipartisan bill. It is a balance. We want to protect our wilderness, but we also want to have access and safety to it. And that is always a balance. And the way in which these balancing efforts are achieved properly is that you have to have a process, an open process, where the public can speak, so that it feels that when a decision is made, as it was made here on this Heritage Trail, that at least there's been an opportunity to be heard, a transparent system, where we respect the opinions of people of all particular position and persuasions, and then make a decision. There's never going to be unanimity on anything. And God knows there's almost unanimity on nothing where I work most of my time. But even on things which seem, once they're done, to be obvious, like this trail will be someday, there is not unanimity. We understand that. But providing there is a democratic and fair and an open process to reach the decision, then as all of us, as members of this fabulous democracy of ours, must respect the decision that is finally made as being the product of an open process. There's about a lot of money in this trail, a lot of federal money. I hope, again, you'll remember that as we go through the more painful deliberations we have. We've already put about $10 million, I believe, Dusty, in acquisition of land, additional acquisition here for the lake shore, for available land in the last few years. And we're hoping to do more of that, because we have a lot of willing sellers that can make this lake shore an even greater place for the future generations than it already is. So I'm delighted to be here today. Gabe Snyder, who is my regional rep, is here. Dave Dennison, who works with him in our Traverse City office, is here as well. It's a real treat, a real privilege to be here today, to be a part of doing something that future generations will not know who is here on this particular day. They won't know all of your efforts, how many of you have worked to do what. They won't know that 20, 30, 40 years from now. But what they will know is that somehow or other there were some wise folks in years past who took the trouble, took the time, made the effort to make it possible for this spectacular beauty to be available and accessible and to be preserved. And thank you for all you have done to make that happen.